These conversations happened on the evening of October 13, 2020, at Jane's Bar in a usually quiet town in Indiana. Everything you hear is true and plausible.
Since the virus hit, the world's air is amazingly cleaner. Just look at those satellite images that just prove that fewer car emissions makes a healthier planet.
Maybe there's just fewer people walking around the cities vaping.
Everyone's life was simpler and a lot less expensive, and now with all this new technology, shouldn't everything at least cost less, including taxes?
Yeah. Listen to this. They were using all these new nail guns, right? Instead of hammers, they rebuilt half my freaking house when a water pipe burst when they went away fishing for a week. Yeah. The water company must have thought I pissed 10,000 times that night. But she's right. They used all these nail guns and all this shit, and you know what? It costs the same. It costs even more in the end. Really, it did.
It took a little over a year to build the Empire State Building and over 11 years to build the new World Trade Center with all the nail guns and cranes and a whole bunch of modern technology. And it costs a lot more every time the government gets involved.
Wait. You can't just use those simple comparisons to choose one side or another when the issue is a lot more complicated. And, it also took 14 years to build the Brooklyn Bridge.
Because nobody was in any hurry to go over to Brooklyn back then.
Anyway, we used to have more control over our lives and more money in our pockets. And now it's going to be so much worse.
What do you think is going to happen?
Well, big business with the help of big government will convince us to continue to spend, so we'll go further into debt so they can survive.
Yeah, right. And by increasing the big fees and taxes, the government sneaks on all our shit all the time that we buy. Pretty soon we have no money in our pockets, and we wonder where the hell it all went to.
Like I said, take a look at your utility bills or anything the government regulates and see how much they charge.
Oh, you're not kidding me. Believe me.
Listen, we know the game they're playing no longer benefits us. They're not going to want to get rid of the utility companies either.
But we notice what happens when things like gas prices drop and we have extra money in our pockets. We spend that money again and again.
By going out to eat more.
Allowing Jane here to hire another cook, and our waitress gets to pay her tuition and go shopping for more clothes. And the clothes store owner gets to buy new tires for their car. The tire dealer gets to buy a new car. The government doesn't lose a dime while stimulating the economy, rather than sneaking that money out of our pockets because they think we're too stupid to know how to spend it.
But the government can also help us with things that both save us money and are good for the environment, like growing produce on polluted waterways, like lakes and the East River. Oh, and stuff like electric cars.
Hey. Next time you see one of those smug hipsters drive around this little electric car, right? Won't you hold off on giving them a thumbs up? Yeah, look at them. For protecting the environment for a second, man. Think about those trainloads of coal. They get those big pits in the ground. They get delivered to those toxic smoke building plants. They radiate the high voltage wires leading into those little clean electric plugs of yours. Yeah, bravo. Nice solution, my friend.
I drove you to the meeting in my electric car.
Box of yours is electric, really? It figures. It's great.
Well, now you'll get to go home in one of those big, beautiful gas-powered buses.
Oh, what happened here? I thought we were friends. I thought we were cool. What's up here?
Sounds like they're both on the same side.
Yeah, go figure. Turns out the environmentalist is the polluter. And who knew? The polluter's an environmentalist.
What it's funny is we've come full circle for more money and more pollution because the government doesn't want us to know what's really going on.
Yeah, of course they don't want us knowing what's really going on. It's about power. And anyone who has it doesn't want you knowing they have it. They take us for idiots, lollygagging around, thinking life will be better for our kids. You remember the news guy who wrote the book about the greatest generation? Well, we became their spoiled, rotten kids.
This is the first time in history that things aren't going to be better off for the next generation. I even received a report that says their life expectancy isn't even going to be as long as ours.
Great! Now I have even less time to pay off my student loan.
Hey, I tell my students all the time it wasn't intentional. We're all just like frogs put in a pot to cook.
Hang on, frogs?
Yeah, where you throw it in the boiling water and it screams as it jumps out. It knows better.
No frogs, capiche? I'm a dog person.
So that's why you don't sell frog legs anymore. You didn't know why they were jumping out of the pot and couldn't catch them.
Yeah, lucky the cows were too slow to get off the grill where we cook the steaks.
Oh, okay. If you put a frog in cool water and gradually turn up the heat, you'll have a cooked frog. It doesn't know what's happening until it's too late. We became contented frogs in a pot of water, comfortable and secure. With those we elected in charge of turning up the heat, and we don't even question what they're doing.
Because we don't have information into what they're doing until it's too late and they made the decision for us. Like the shutdown of our economy because of this virus disaster. I mean, they took away our liberties and our contact and our income. There's nothing left to consider. It's just out of control.
That's why we're not going to be able to realize about the inequality they're creating until it affects us or someone we know and have a hard time understanding what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes. My father used to tell me to be nice to the people on the way up because you're going to meet them on the way down. And now the lines are a lot longer on the way down.
You know what my parents used to say? They say, that's how the other half lives. When we're talking about people that were more well off than us, except right now, the other half has become 1%.
Well, for me, the change happened so fast that I didn't even realize it until one day the door opened and, to get in line and someone said, going down? It all started when I lost my job at Lehman Brothers, from 150,000 to substitute teaching at high school, economics 25, and I found out what it's like to be one of the frogs getting cooked.
Hang on, so you mean I make more money than you pouring drinks?
Yeah, don't remind me. I'm one of you guys now. No more Mr. Big Shot.
Nice to join us there, pal.
Yeah, anyway, I was still hanging around my Big Shot buddies, so my friend John, who works for Goldman Sachs for 300 grand, 300,000, gets us great tickets to the game back when we're still able to go hang out with our friends and go to basketball games. And I guess we were both in a hurry to get there. And I just knew I went through one of those red light cameras.
Oh, I hate those things.
They ruin lives.
Yeah, a month later, I get a $150 ticket in the mail, which becomes a big deal because it takes a third of my paycheck, and my wife's pissed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're barely making it now, and she's studying to be a nurse when I watch her kid. And anyway, it turns out John also got a ticket and was joking how it happens to him all the time, and the $150 is nothing since the ticket doesn't go on our record. It got me thinking how the government applies laws equally to everybody, forgetting this country is made up of very different people.
Yeah, like my friend Jose, he gets $15,000 a year, and he got a red light ticket. He lost more than half his weekly pay that he uses for rent and groceries for his family. Where does that money come from?
Yeah. Me and John never had to think twice about it. I do now. I used to think that red light cameras were there to keep people safe. Now I know better.
When you're poor, you see things the rich don't.
Hey, I'd make the argument that the poor guy learned not to go through red lights, but then the government's telling people how to act based on their income. And now I'm the poor guy.
You know what? Oh, man, those cameras, they just want to make the government more money. You know why? Because they don't have the friggin' balls to tax the rich for the money they need. So they got to invent all these red light cameras, tickets, all these stupid kinds of fines. You guys tell me, how's that for equality, huh?
Yeah, and they'll never suspend those cameras, even though now we don't have any money coming in to pay those fines because the government needs to survive more than we do.
That's kind of how the tax system works.
Yeah, and we're all supposed to pay taxes, aren't we? But some people don't pay any, while others pay more, and some of those who don't pay any make more than those that pay more.
Whoa, what'd you just say, man?